It's been a while since we actually did a project here on this channel, so today I thought we can do this. I bought the domain onetinytool.com. This is going to be a page where we have a bunch of different small, tiny, effective tools that is written in React ChadCN. Pretty cool if you ask me. So we're going to do this from 0 to 100. So it's just going to be like a workflow video. We're going to use Cursor, V0, Claude AI, maybe some other stuff too. I'm thinking maybe we add some AI tools that could host GPT-4o Mini, Claude 3.5 Haiku. When that is available, we can upgrade in the future. Maybe we're going to use some AI to write some description for each tool to maybe get some organic traffic. We're going to launch it with Firebase. Should we do some marketing? I haven't decided yet. But I think it's going to be a pretty cool project. And if you're into kind of building this fast, effective, I wouldn't call it a startup, but it's a page that could make you some small change if you wanted to. Small money, I'm not sure, but I think we're just gonna do it. So I'm just gonna start from the beginning. I made some progress, but we're gonna go back and I'm gonna take you into where we are at, but I'm just gonna show you kind of how I got started on this first. So yeah, let's just build something and see where this goes. I haven't really planned out everything yet, but let's see. So I started this project on basically where I start all my website projects. So this is going to be my cursor prompt repo. This is free. You find it in the description. We're going to go to the ChadCN prompt. So these are kind of pre-made prompts I use to just get going, right? So let's just copy this, right? And we're just going to start on cursor. So what we can do, we can just paste in this pre-made prompt here and run it, right? So this is going to give us like... yeah, you can see we have some commands here we're just gonna follow. So I'm just gonna paste in this. We're gonna install Next.js, right? So we're just gonna say the default to everything here. Great. We're gonna cd into the directory. We're gonna install ChadCN CLI. We're gonna initialize that ChadCN, right? And that is the start we want. We want to select this. We're gonna add a button just to get the components up. And we can update the main page if we wanted to. But let's see now if we get this installed here. Perfect. cd into our front end. We're gonna, install ChadCN CLI. Do that. We're gonna initialize ChadCN. And here I like to select, I'm gonna show you. I like to do New York, sync, yes. And you can see I have React 19, right? So here I'm gonna click on -- force. So every time this gets up, I'm just gonna force this. This is something I might have to change, but for now it's fine. And that is basically it. I think we can do like npm run dev now. Oops. npm run dev, right? And we should be ready to go here. Let's check here. And yes, perfect. Okay, that's good. Is there anything else we want to do? We want to kind of add this button here, so let's just do that just to get this. If we, I guess I have to move the camera a bit here. So again, we're going to force and we're going to install that button, right? If we go here now to our front end, source, components, and here we have the button from ChadCN, right? Perfect. We can update our page if we wanted to do that. Yeah, that should be pretty much it. We import the button. We can do some global CSS just to see where this goes. Okay. And we can run it again. Let's see now if the button is here. Yeah, we got something going on here, right? Okay, good. Now we that's what I did to get started here. So I think we're just gonna close this down. So that is how I kind of run my initial start when I do like this is gonna be like a React Next.js website. So it's a pretty easy setup if you just follow my cursor prompt. We might do some changes here, but I'm gonna update you. So I've already done this on my project, so I'm just gonna take you to the next step I did before we get into the state of the project as it is now. That was actually going over to V0, right? I just wanted to create a tool and kind of get the design I wanted for each tool, so we can just reuse that for every single tool we're gonna add. So this is gonna be the RGB to hex converter tool. So the prompt I use here was, I want an RGB to hex converter tool in ChadCN Next.js dark mode theme, super readability, high contrast, sliders, text box to enter hex code for preview. And I asked for this code and we got this code here. And if you look at the preview, it's pretty nice. It's not the final version, but it works pretty good. We also got some dark light mode here. I hope you can see this, but yeah, you can see this is kind of the style I wanted for every single tool. So I was pretty happy with this. There were some changes, right? Could we enter a hex code here? Yeah, I guess we could. But yeah, I was pretty happy with this. This is a nice way to use is v0.dev, right? Just to get going, to get your style. And what I did is I actually went to Claude. I started a new project. I can show you this. And here I just added some simple instruction. You're a world-class tool designer, blah, blah, blah. I added this React, tool as an example, the RGB to hex converter tool as an example here. And from this, we created our second tool. So now we have two examples. This was the date difference calculator. We can't display this because we need some more libraries here, but I have already done it and it works very good. So now we kind of have the code for two tools, and that is basically all we need, and they kind of have the same style. We use ChadCN, we use these components, right? If you haven't used ChadCN before, it's pretty nice. It's over here. So here we have these different components we can pick from, right? For the calendar picker, of course, for the date calculator, we're of course going to use the calendar tool. Right, that works pretty good. So it's super easy to use ChadCN to create all of these small tools we're gonna do today. And yeah, after I had this, my next step was to just start integrating these tools into my already existing setup here, right? I think I'm gonna show you how I did kind of the first tool, and then I think it's time to just go over to where we are at now in my project and continue from there. To integrate the tool into my page, I just went back to v0. So I just copied this tool, right? Let's go back to cursor. Let's go to the chat here. I kind of like that. You could use the composer too. So I just do this docs, or I can do code, right? And let's do code in this tags, paste in our code. And let's do the prompt. So this code is the first tool I need on my page, right? Let me just do the rest of the prompt here. So I just followed up with integrate this tool into my page, please. I will install the needed ChadCN components myself. Let's try that. So here I'm gonna do full code base. So Control Enter to kind of get the full context. So let's see what cursor suggests for us here now. So we want to modify our page.tsx, right? We can find that. Okay, so we're gonna import our tool. We haven't created the tool yet, but I guess we're gonna. So let's do that. Now we're gonna create this tool. So this is probably gonna be in, I don't know. I'm gonna ask for the folder structure. I'm gonna show you why I like this. So let's do great. Also, show me the folder structure, please, right? Because I kind of want to see where I should put each component here. Okay, so here you can see we have our structure. So I'm just gonna do this structure now. I'm gonna show you how we can install these components. So let me just do that. And the next thing now we need to do is install the components for our kind of main component, right? So we need to add a card, slider, input, label. But these commands, I can see this is not correct. So I think the commands we're gonna use is npx chadcn latest add card, right? And here we probably have to force again. Now that was fine. Okay, so you can see we added the card. We want to add the slider, right? So I'm just going to add all of these different components here. And you can see these are getting placed into, I don't know if you can see it now. Let me do this. So these are getting placed into kind of, let's see, where is source, components, UI. And here you can see the card, right? So this is pretty easy to set up. Okay, so I added all the components. Now just do, let's just try it now. npm, what am I gonna run dev, right? Let's open up the port. Perfect. Okay, So here you can see now we have our tool here. Okay, so it's working pretty good. And that is basically how I set this up. So is this working? Yeah, perfect. So it's not that hard. So we added our first tool. Now it's just building on this. And that is kind of what I did on my main project. So I think we're just going to head over there. I made a few changes, some upgrades there. I'm going to explain them quick so you get into the project. Then we're going to build it out with more and more tools. We're going to launch it and see how we can get this. If this is going to be pretty cool, I think so. Okay, so I switch over to the main project we are going to work on today. So here you can see all of the tools I have brainstormed to build today. We have completed the date difference calculator, what week it is, RGB to hex converter, and the word cloud generator. So I'm going to show you this now and how the website is looking now. Also, to generate these tool IDs, I just used ChatGPT 01 preview. That worked pretty good. I got some great ideas from this, right? But let's head over to our app now. You can see this is it. One tiny tool. We have 4 tools, right? We have the, you can see it here. I added this sidebar menu. That was very easy, sidebar thing. And let's take a look at this tool. So this is the RGB converter. You saw this. So what I thought was pretty smart about this, as you can see down here, we have this, it shows the hex code, right? But when it gets, if it gets dark, it switches to white from black, right? That's pretty clever. We can copy this, we can write our own, right? So it works pretty good. We can switch this. We have the date difference calculator, so we can pick a date. How many days until Christmas Eve? I want to know that. Boom, we got it. Time difference, 1 month, 23 days, 7 weeks, and 5 days, or 54 days. What week it is? Week 44, 84% throughout the year. We have the first day of the week. Word cloud generator. So this was pretty cool. So let me just grab a text here so we can test this, so I can show you how this works. So I just created this text with ChatGPT. We can paste in the text here. Let's do it. Boom. You can also see we get the top 5 most frequent words, cats, the, and all this. And you can see the word cloud here. We can download it by clicking here, right? So pretty easy tool to set up using, I think we use Claude 3.5. So that is the state of our website now. We have 4 tools, we have the homepage, and we're gonna keep building. So if you go back to our random tools here, we're just gonna pick some and start building out these tools. I really wanna try this photo camera settings simulator. That's pretty cool. I wanna see if we can do this. I'm not sure if we can, but let's try it. So, yeah, how should I do this? Yeah, let's just use Claude 3.5, try to make it. Okay, so the prompt we use now is the next tool we need to build is the photo camera settings simulator. This takes an image URL, previous to image, and we can change the settings of the image using sliders. Create this tool for me, please. Here we're gonna do Control-Enter to use the full code base as context. And let's see how this turns out now. Okay, so you can see we got a components file, we got some page file, we got some root files. So basically all we need here. So what is good about this is when cursor have the context of all our previous setups, right? It's very easy to recreate that, right? So this is the one-shot tool we created and it's pretty cool. So let me show you how this tool turned out now. So let's head over to the website. And here you can see it, photo settings simulator. It's on our homepage here. We can click here, right? So let's find an image URL. So I found this nice image here, right? And now you can see we can start playing around with these sliders, exposure, contrast, brightness, right? Sepia, grayscale, blur even, that's pretty cool. Saturation, and we can click download edited image. Oh, we got an error for that, so let me try to fix that. Okay, so maybe we can't download it, but let's see if we can try to fix that. If not, it's fine. So I just decided to move this download button. It's just a hassle, it's not worth it. But at least you can play around with your images to see what kind of things you can do here. I think that's pretty cool. Anyway, you can blur it too. Maybe we add some stuff like that in the future, right? That is the photo settings tool done. So what I thought I can do now is I'm just gonna If you go back to my tool list here, if I can find it, give me a second. So we're just gonna add this, completed, right? And what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna make like 3 to 4 tools. We can take a look at them. I make some more. So yeah, you don't have to watch every single tool I'm gonna make. So I'm just gonna make some QR code, maybe some logo generator. I'm not sure yet, but I'm gonna make a few of these tools and I'll come back when everything is done. I'm probably just gonna do like a time lapse from here so you can see me working on this. And I'll see you when I added like 4 more tools or something. Okay, so we added counter timer with alarm, strong password generator, ping test URL, and we added Pomodoro timer. Was that 4 or 5? I don't know. But let's check them out. If we head over here now, you can see we have the ping test URL. Yeah, this is basically just tests the ping of a website, right? We get the min max. Works pretty good. Pomodoro timer. Yeah, we start this. So I guess you work for 25 minutes. Then it's gonna shift to a break duration you want, right? You can pause and stuff. And it's gonna give like a notification. So that works. We have the strong password generator. Select your length. And include different, so we want just uppercase or include, and you generate a password like very strong, medium, weak. Okay, so that works, pretty cool. We have our code generator, that works pretty good, right? And we can download it, I tested, that works. So we added, yeah, that was 4 more tools. So it's going pretty good. Every tool has been like a one-shot, almost no issues. So that was pretty nice, if you ask me. So I'm just gonna add some more and then we take a look at a few more after a while, I think. Okay, so that was basically all the tools. That went super fast. I think I spent 1 hour adding 18 tools, I think. Yeah, something like that. Let's take a look at a few of them. I don't think we're going to go through everyone. You can just go to the website afterwards. So here's the word counter. Yeah, works pretty good. Word, characters, sentences, reading time. We can copy the text. Here's the font pairing tool. So you can pair different fonts. You can copy the CSS. Compound interest. I thought that was pretty cool. You can add like $1,000 initial investment. 10 years and you add 100 each year, and if you do that you contribute a total 2,000, right? 1,000 plus 10 times 100 and we get the total interest, the final balance. That was pretty cool. The dice roller, that was pretty boring. It's just a dice roll, right? The credit card calculator, this was pretty cool. So let's say if you have $5,000 in like a balance, APR is 15%. You have like a minimum payment of 100. And then you get like total interest, months to pay off, total cost, 3-year payoff, that's gonna be 36 months. You can adjust here, right? And let's say you do 200, that's gonna be 3 months to pay off. So this is kind of useful if you ask me. We have a random number generator, yeah, pretty standard. BMI calculator, this was pretty cool. So if you are like 185 and like me, 80. I'm pretty much normal weight, right? So you can adjust this, and I like the UI here, that's pretty cool. Yeah, length and distance, this is pretty standard, right? 100 meters to 1 yeah, I don't know, 2 feet. Okay, that works. Mind map generator, this was pretty cool. So let's say we have one node that's called AI. We have one node that's called LLMs. And we can add a green node that's called AI agents. And then we can kind of connect them, right? It's not perfect, right? So we can AI agents. The one thing I don't understand is where I place the node. So that was a bit strange. So we can add like a, it seems random, right? And we can connect them. Okay. Coin flip simulator. We flip a coin. QR code. We did that. Was that all? I think I did a color contrast optimizer. This was pretty cool. So you can change, here is where the contrast is great if it's yes, right? So we can, now it's not good. So we can change the background to, let's say, green. And then we can see what color do we need. No, there we get yes for both, right? So this is good contrast. What else did we do? I think that was it. Yeah, that was pretty much many tools, if you ask me. So that was all we had. Now, I think the only one we had on our list is the AI tools. So I'm gonna look into the AI tooling if I'm gonna do that. But we also, I think we need to do like some categories here, because it's very, and the home page is huge now. We need some categories. I think I'm going to change this, maybe a search or something, so we can search for a tool. So let me try to fix that, and then we might do the AI tools, right? Okay, so we just got to do, our homepage got a bit too big. I think we are better off with a search box for a tool, and maybe pick a random button that gives the users a random tool. Add the chassis and components if needed. Please integrate this into my site. Hopefully this works out pretty good. By the way, I really like the new Sonnet. It's great for coding, if you ask me. So let's see now if we get like a search box, maybe like a pick a random tool function, and see how well this integrates. We might have to do some changes, but let's see how this turns out now first. Okay, so you can see we fixed this. So now we can search for like week, and we get this tool. We can try a random tool. Here we got the word cloud generator tool. Okay, so yeah, that works pretty good. I'm kind of happy with that. And now I wanted to categorize this too, because it's very random. Kind of hard to know what kind of tool you need. So I just went, I want to categorize this on the main page and sidebar, random tools, design tools, text tools, and productivity tools. So you can see we get a new sidebar txt here. So let's try that. Get that compiled. That's a big code, right? We need to create a categories object. Okay, we can do that. So let me do that, and then let's check it out, right? Okay, so now you can see we have some categories, right? On the side here, we have random tools, design tools. That looks pretty good. But I still think it's too messy here on the front page, right? Because, yeah, I want to clean this up. I don't want to show these tools. I only want to bring them in if we search for them. So let's try that. So I made a prompt. Good job on the page. There's still too much happening. Don't show all the tools and categories. Just bring the tools the users search for if found. So I want to try that just to see if we can clean it up a bit, right? Okay, we got this. So now I think it looks better, right? We can search for like timer, and then we kind of sort by that. We can do week, and you can see if there is no tool, no tools found. So we can do week. We get that, right? So yeah, that works pretty good. I also think I want to collapse on categories here. Let's try that. So final change, able to collapse the categories in the sidebar. Let's try that and see if we can fix it. Okay, that looks pretty good. If we go back now, you can see, yeah, we can collapse random tools, design tools, text tools, productivity tools. So that's pretty neat. Now we can only open design tools, right? And pick from that. Perfect. Yeah, I'm pretty much happy with this. I think it looks pretty sweet. We got an S here. That's a bit annoying. So I'm gonna remove that. Other than that, I think I'm pretty happy with the layout. And I might add some AI tools. I'm gonna think about it a bit, and then we'll see, right? Yeah, so I had a quick think about it. I think we're gonna skip the AI tools for today, because this is kind of a nice intro if you want to follow this recipe, right? Then you can build up to this point. We can do another episode later where we can integrate AI hosted tools, so we can provide the API key, or maybe the user could provide the API key to, let's say, OpenAI or something, or Claude. But for now, I think we're going to keep it simple so everyone can do this, right? So I think the next part is we need some kind of organic way to discover these tools. So I want to write like a small description or blog post, call it whatever you want, for each tool. And then I think it's like SEO, right? So people can find it on Google. I think that's pretty good. It's gonna be difficult, but yeah, just to do it. So I think we're gonna use maybe Claude AI or maybe Cursor just to find out the best way to do this. So I think that's gonna be the next step. Then we're gonna deploy this, I think, on Firebase. I'm gonna show you how I do that. And that should be pretty much it. So after thinking for a while, I think this episode, we're not gonna introduce the AI tools. I think I'm gonna do that maybe another video. So maybe if people wanna follow along with this, they don't have to start with the AI tools now, because that gets a bit more difficult, because we might have to use our API key. We have to make the users use the API key. So I think we're just gonna deploy this now. I made some small changes to make it like discoverability, like SEO stuff. I'm gonna quickly show you. Made a sitemap and stuff. But like I said, I think we're gonna skip those AI tools for now, and that we can do maybe in an update video, right? So if we go back now, you can see I have added some stuff here. So let's just take a look at the result first. You can see here I added like a sitemap, right? And here is like a robots.txt, sitemap XML. We have a not found page, and we have all these pages, right? For our tools. We have like a dynamic sitemap, right, for our domain, onetinytool.com. And you can see here, loading sitemap, completed. We have, yeah, perfect sitemaps. So that looks pretty good. And that means we are basically ready to launch this, right? Of course, we will have to test pretty much all the tools again, but I had a look at it and it looks pretty good. This random thing is working pretty good, right? And everything is set. I think the dark mode, light mode is not working at the moment, but I might just fix that. But my next step now, head over to Firebase, new project. Let's call it One Tiny Tool. Continue. Okay. I want to enable analytics for this project, right? So we can check if people are joining our website. Okay, so let me create this project. And yeah, this is going to be a web... Is it a web app? I think so. But I think we're going to go back to Cursor now, right? We're just going to remove this chat. And we're just going to do... So I think we're going to do... I'm ready to deploy this page on the web using Firebase. I brought a domain. I just need to host this, deploy this. Can you help me out with a step-by-step guide? I'm going to do Control-Enter here to get all of the context right. Okay, so you can see we have our guide here. I want to head back to Firebase now to continue just setting this up first. So we have a project we can select. I think this is going to be web, right? It's going to call it One Tiny... I can type tool. Hosting, yes, I want hosting. Okay, so first, I think we're gonna go back here and do like an npm install Firebase. I think we should have it, but let's do this just in case. Okay, so that was done. Now let's do this Firebase G tools here. If we run into this issue with the version thing, we're just gonna do this legacy -deps. But this seems to be working fine. Then we're gonna log in. We're gonna initialize, right? But let's go back here. Firebase login, initialize, and deploy, right? Okay, so we did that. Great. Now do a login to see if we're logged in. Okay, we are logged in. Initialize, and here we're gonna get some questions, right? So we're gonna select hosting and function. Hosting, okay. Then we're gonna click next. We're gonna use an existing project, right? The one we created, that was called One Tiny Tool. Okay. Okay, so what language we like to use to write functions? We're gonna pick TypeScript, right? TSX. Do you wanna use lint to catch bugs? Yes. Do you want to install? Yes. So function is good because if we're gonna add our AI tools, we need that anyway later, right? We want to use build, right? Public. Single page app, yes. No, we don't need a GitHub at the moment. Okay, great. Now we should have our Firebase function, Firebase JSON. So let's apply this. Okay, that's done. Let's find our next config. Update this. Great. Package JSON. Okay. Now we're gonna run the build again. Okay, so we got some errors here. Let me ask about this. Okay, so let's try to build again now. We made a few changes here to our, if you see here, we made some changes to our robots.ts and sitemap.ts. Let's see if that works. Okay, so we are running the build again. I did some, just some simple debugging here. And we got it. So that looks pretty good. We did this. Now we can try to follow up with Firebase deploy, right? Try that. See if we can actually deploy this to Firebase. We might have some issues here, but let's try it. We got a couple issues here. I'm gonna try to debug this. So just a simple mark all this, add to chat. We got this error. Please help me resolve. Okay, let's try to do some debugging. You don't have to follow me in all the debugging. It's basically just asking ChatGPT to help us here and see if we can get there, or maybe we have to do some manual stuff here. Okay, so you can see your project has to be on the pay-as-you-go plan to complete this command. So I'm just gonna go fix that. I'm gonna show you where you can do that. So here we can just continue to console, right? And on the side here, you can just click on upgrade and click on pay as you go here. It's not gonna cost you anything, but you need to be on this plan. So I'm just gonna set this up. Okay, so we got that done. I set up my plan. Now we can go back here and let's just try to deploy again to see if that makes it. We might have to run a build again, but I think this should be fine now, to be honest. Okay, so we have the deploy complete. That is a good sign, right? So now we actually have a URL here, right? So let's try to open it. Perfect. That looks great. Let me copy that and let's try to go to incognito, right? Yeah, seems to be working pretty good here. Let's test the ping one because we had to do yeah, seems to work good. Yes, everything looks great. What week is it? Okay, yeah, very nice. So I think the next step now for us is to actually add our URL, right? Because we don't want this URL, we want to add our domain, right? And for that, we just go to Firebase again. You can see add custom domain. So my domain, one tiny tool. Let's paste this in here, right? No. And then we get some DNS information we have to fill out. So I'm probably just gonna do that. Okay, so I added kind of my custom domain here, but I thought this is gonna take some time before it goes live. Other than that, I think I am pretty happy with this. We got our tool here. Of course, I'm gonna check how it looks on mobile. I'm gonna do that later, but yeah, it looks pretty good if you ask me. Everything is working, I think. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Let's test this again. Yep, that works. Great. QR code. Okay, nice. Yeah, everything seems to be working here. I want to inspect this because I want to see if we added something here. So yeah, you can see I added some, can we zoom in on this? Some SEO here on kind of the tool itself. So we have like a title, H1, we have an article, right? But I didn't want to have this on the page, so I just have it for the robot, right? In here, so it can look at it. So we don't want to display this small description here. It's just gonna be here in the article class here, right? So that is something I added. If we go to, I did that in something called, let me find that, tool metadata here. So here you can see I added like title, RGB to text, we have keywords, we have descriptions, close this, we have some content, right? So this is only for the crawler. People is not gonna see this, right? But this is only for the crawler, right? And to fetch this, we load this, or we import this for each tool. So you can see for the BMI calculator, we import the metadata here, and we fetch the title, everything, URL, article, right? So that worked out pretty good. So I'm kind of happy with that hidden SEO content, right? So yeah, that is how I set that up. And it's been like 20 minutes. You can see my tool now is live here, my URL. So I can go to it, onetinytool.com. Perfect. Everything seems to work. Again, I want to test the ping URL. Yes, good. And yeah, and you can see we got, I don't know if you see it, but we have the correct layout here. I kind of want to go to sitemap.xml. So we can see here is kind of our sitemap. I don't know how good this is, but you can see we have our URLs here. So yeah, at least we have something. Other than that, yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. Again, we might have to fix this, but for now, super easy. How long did I spend on this? It's just a few hours. It's maybe three hours or something for this full tool page here with all the custom tools we created, right? That is pretty cool if you ask me. Does the random tool work? Yes. Week. The search works. What week? Pretty cool. So yeah, I'm pretty happy. Like I said, I might follow up on this and do like a second part where we add some more AI tools, going a bit more into the backend to trying to hold some API keys maybe, to maybe, yeah, the user can add their own API key and expanding our tool use here. But this was a fun project. I hope you learned something. And it just shows how easy it is to build some software now. We spent maybe 3 to 4 hours on this, from the planning stage to having it online on its own custom URL. So that is pretty cool. And there is a lot of code here, to be honest. I haven't counted how many lines, but there are also a few thousand lines of code. So that is also pretty interesting, how quick it was. And I kind of like the aesthetic. And I'm going to check it on mobile later and see if it works there. I'm not going to optimize for mobile, but for now, we're going to keep it like this. And yeah, hopefully you learned something. Hope you liked this. A bit of a different video today, but it was time for a new project. So we're gonna do sporadic projects going forward. But yeah, it's just fun to check it out. But yeah, thank you for tuning in if you stayed all the way here. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you again in a few days.